Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Yeah, y'all already know who it is, man. Y'all already know what it's about. Welcome to VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I'm your host, VJ Wright. VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. 8515, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Shaq, the Creamy Kobe, Blue Eye Barkley, Mr. 8515, because 85% of the stuff I put out there comes right. You listen to us live right now at Spreaker.com. Also, podcast it later. Don't forget to check us on iHeartRadio. Loaded show today. Great show today. One of my favorite NBA players of the street brand version in basketball, Mr. NBA New York legend, Kenny Anderson, second overall pick in the 91 NBA draft, will join us. We'll talk about Kevin Durant. We'll talk about the injury. We'll talk about Steph Curry. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. We have Game 6 tomorrow night back up Oracle Arena in Golden State. And a lot of people think that Golden State is going to win that game. I'm not so sure, even though I picked Golden State to win in 6. My Golden State in 6 prediction's already gone, so that's fine. If they win in 7, they still win the championship. But I like to stick with my predictions. Anybody that listens to my show, listen to me know. I like to stay with my predictions. I like to, I don't like to do flip-flopping, and I like to stick to my guns. So my pick in 6 for the Warriors is gone. But if they still win and Steph gets ring number 4, I'll take that. So we'll discuss about Steph's legacy, this legacy thing. And we'll talk about who was to blame for the Kevin Durant injury. And I'll start there on the quick rant because we actually are going to have Kenny Anderson in about 8 to 9 minutes. We'll have him on live from back east and get a chance to talk to him, talk about his playing career. I want to throw out there the KD injury. The first thing I'm going to say about the KD injury is that, number one, it's bad to see. You never want to see a superstar player go down with a catastrophic injury like that. I think some of the bigger and best guys we could have ever watched in sports had to cut short by injury. The number one guy I could think about is Bo Jackson. And I just believe it's because we didn't appreciate Bo Jackson. I've said this before on other outlets, other shows, TV, radio. We did not appreciate Bo Jackson. We did not know what we had in Bo Jackson. And I believe the sports gods took him from us. I believe the sports gods said, you know what? You guys don't appreciate this guy. You're not going to appreciate him like you should. And, we're just gonna take him from you. Now, I know he had a, really bad hip injury where the bone got pulled out of the socket and it caused some internal bleeding. I guess a vessel or vein was popped. He talked about it on his Bo Knows 30 for 30 special, which is one of the best of the 30 for 30 specials in the series. So he talked about that injury. I think Bo was a guy that we got sold. We lost a little bit on. Derrick Rose is a guy that we didn't get the full Derrick Rose because of the ACL and then everything that came after that. And the stuff that happened in Chicago from the Bulls and the way things played out with Derrick Rose. And then there's a few other guys that we didn't get the full Yao Ming. And I don't know if Yao Ming would have been a greater, one of the greatest big men ever or great center ever. He was a really good player. He was a 20-10 guy. Him and Tracy McGrady made a formidable 1-2 punch in the Western Conference for a few years. But he had the chronic foot injuries. Greg Oden is another big one we can think of with the injuries. Bill Walton is another one we could think of with the injuries. They said when Bill was young, man, nobody could pass better. He could score however he wanted to in the post. He can dunk on you. He can block shots. He was a great defender. But once the injury set in and once he got traded out to Boston, it was never the same Bill Walton again. We've seen players come back from an Achilles. We've seen Dominique Wilkins come back. We've seen Kobe come back. I think Durant's young enough. I think the medicine nowadays is different. And I also think that the way they rehab and they'll make a custom shoe. Nike will make a custom shoe for him to protect the Achilles injury or give him more cushion. Or Nike will do something crazy technology-wise to make sure that Kevin Durant is fine. So, praying for Kevin Durant, praying for his family. I'm from the DMV. Kevin Durant is DMV. So, at the end of the day, I always have, since he was at Montrose Christian Academy, to Texas, to the Supersonics, to the Thunder, and now to the Warriors, I've always rolled with KD, so I'm going to keep riding with KD. Quickly, as far as blame goes, I think this is one of the silliest and the stupidest things I've seen on TV. And I understand that a lot of guys just have to fill airtime. You have to make good TV and make good radio. I'm a firm believer that if you got to make good TV or make good radio, then you might not be that good, because it should be good organically. It should be good. You shouldn't have to, like macaroni and cheese, it's not that hard. It really isn't. People try to do different things and try to add their own flavor and their own spin on it, and they end up messing it up. A nice cheese sauce, some really good cheddar, some really good Monterey Jack Marble, and some Velveeta, and some salt, and a little salt, because cheese got salt in it already. Or you might not even use salt. Last batch I made, no salt, and some black pepper. That's all you need in macaroni and cheese. You don't have to make this hard. And I think that's what we get with sports talk radio and sports talk TV, is people try to make too much instead of just letting it happen organically. And over the last 3 days, blame. We always got to blame somebody. We always want to dump on somebody. We always want to crap on somebody. There's nobody to blame. If you think Kevin Durant didn't want to play, then you're crazy, because if he didn't want to play, he could have easily said, I don't want to play. But at the same time, these are the same people that are blaming the Warriors, the same people from the press who have been dumping on Kevin Durant for the last 4 or 5 years, calling him soft, saying these rings don't matter, these rings have an action. Those same people are the ones that are coming out on social media and coming on TV and getting on the radio and blaming the Warriors for him playing. I think Kevin Durant probably didn't want to play too injured. Didn't want to play because he didn't want to play basketball. He loves basketball. Basketball is his life. I believe he wanted to play, but he might not wanted to risk his future or risk a further injury. And maybe Golden State front office didn't really want to either. But it is the finals. We are down 3-1. You are our best player. You are the best player on the planet. You have to play. You do get called soft by the media. You got to answer that. If you sit out this series and we lose, and we get knocked out of here in 5 or get knocked out of here in 6, there's going to be somebody down the line that's going to question your toughness, whether you could have played or not. Klay Thompson has a calf. You got Kevon Looney out here playing. That injury he's got, I think that means, I don't know, the great Jackie McMullen said yesterday on TV on Around the Horn, it's an injury to something she can't even pronounce. And I think just in layman's terms, the muscle's almost torn off the bone. And you can see him the other night laboring out there, like bending over, like wincing and grimacing, but staying in the game. The Golden State staff had to pull him off the floor. Players want to play. Players want to play. Me, myself, I have that type of injury story. Separated shoulder multiple times, all the way back to the 7th grade. Never had surgery. Why? I wanted to play. Told my mom I was fine. Told coaches I was fine. Told my teachers I was fine. Told the principal I was fine. But my shoulder was hurting like hell. And football is a sport where you have to continue to hit someone with your shoulder. You know what I have now? Uneven shoulders. If I stand straight up and I tell people, look at me head on. See one shoulder's higher than the other? They go, yeah. I go, yeah. That's because this shoulder was dislocated so many times. I wanted to play. And and I tell you this, it didn't, I don't want to use it as an excuse why I didn't pursue the Baltimore Ravens tryout that I had, but it was a question in my mind. It was a question in my mind, should I go up here and put this shoulder in a tryout, and even if I get to the point where we put some pads on and I got to hit these NFL guys, they're going to break my shoulder forever. It's never going to be the same again. There was part of me who thought about that. My mother to this day does not let me forget that I did not go to the tryout for the Baltimore Ravens. My mother does not let me forget to this day. But nobody knew what my shoulder felt like. Nobody knew what kind of pain it was in. Nobody knew how I couldn't reach backwards, how I couldn't reach upward. I couldn't sleep on that side, but I wanted to play. Players want to play. There's nobody to blame. It's a business. Do you want to play? If I'm asking you, do you want to play? Yeah, okay, you're playing. They've cleared you. This is a business at the end of the day. Maybe a little greed. I don't buy the arrogance of the front office. Oh, this is their arrogance. Doesn't every championship front office have a little arrogance? Joe Dumars had a little arrogance when he thought that drafting Darko Milicic was a better decision than drafting Carmelo Anthony because he felt like Tayshaun Prince was his Carmelo Anthony. Okay, you're going to tell me there just wasn't a little bit of arrogance in that? Front offices have arrogance. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Bulls, back in 97, 96. You don't want to pay Michael more than the $30 million a season that you're paying him now? He wants 45. He wants 50 million a year. He's Michael freaking Jordan. You don't think a little arrogance sat in Jerry's mind and why he didn't pull that off? You don't think a little arrogance sits in Papa Steinbrenner? The way he fired people and brought them back and the way he ran his organization. When you win, you do have a little bit of a professional arrogance that you kind of have it figured out over other people. How is that wrong? Does Apple have it figured out over LG cell phones? Yes. Does Apple have it figured out over Cricket Wireless? Yes. Does Verizon have it figured out over Boost Mobile? Yes. How many will take Boost Mobile as opposed to Verizon? How many people would drive an S63 Mercedes-Benz over a Corolla? And there's nothing to say about the Corolla. But there's a reason that there's an arrogance in the front office of Mercedes. They're Mercedes. Every athlete and every rapper, as soon as they get some money and a lot of celebrities, the first kind of car they go buy is what? A Mercedes. They're not in Culver City Toyota. And that's no knock to Culver City Toyota. I bought a car from them. 10 years from now, I might be a Beverly Hills Mercedes-Benz. There's a certain arrogance that does come along with that. There is nobody to blame. Everybody was in on this. Everybody was ready to accept this and to have him play. I honestly just do not feel like there is someone to blame, and I just believe it's just honestly half-ass radio and half-ass TV for everybody on TV and radio the last 2 days to try to play this blame game and whose fault was it, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And start with the crocodile tears. Where just because we're in such a society where like we can't even say like what the real thing is. Like we're damn this thing right now about owners in the NBA. Oh, he has to be called an owner. Well, who owns the damn team? He's an owner. I personally don't take that as a slave, a slave reference or what have you. I get it, but he is the owner of the team. At the end of the day, he's the owner of the team. So when you think about just how this whole story is breaking down and the way people are attacking it and the way people are going at it, it's just ridiculous to me. It is clearly and utterly ridiculous with the blame game. They're all in it. They all want to play. And I'm speeding through it right now because we're going to get Kenny Anderson on in a second. We'll take a quick break and we'll go to Jason's Rockin' Wrap Up. And then from there, when we come back, I'll have Kenny Anderson on and we will ask him about KD's injury. And I want to ask him about Steph Curry with him being a legendary point guard. Why do people not like Steph Curry? All that and more coming up. VJs on Sports Like Conduct, Spreaker.com. And right now, a quick break with Jason Headley with the Rockin' Wrap Up.
It's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up with your host, Jason Hadley. In light of Georgia's recent legislation against women's reproductive rights, singer Ariana Grande donated $300,000 from her Atlanta show to the local Planned Parenthood offices. In honor of her donation, Planned Parenthood wanted to put a picture on the wall, but then they thought they'd just save money and copy the one that's already there when she got Customer of the Month. Lil Xan may be facing deadly assault charges after flashing a gun to ward off a hater who cornered the rapper while minding his own business pumping some gas. The charges were upgraded to a felony when there was a genuine fear that Xan's gun was also about to be unleaded. Paparazzi caught up with country singer Tim McGraw to ask how he feels about being a Democrat in a highly Republican music genre. McGraw credits his success to writing songs that appeal to both rednecks and bluenecks. And that's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up. Follow us on Twitter at Rockin' Wrap-Up.
My man Jason Headley with the Rockin' Wrap Up, man. We're back on VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct here on Spreaker.com live right now. Don't forget to catch us podcasted on iHeartRadio later and any other time that you want to go back and check out the show. So right now I want to bring on my quick guest, man. We're going to hold him, take him from his busy schedule, only about 5-10 minutes. I grew up watching this man. He is a New York legend. To me, he's an NBA legend. He's not even nearly given the respect, in my opinion, that I think he deserves for the type of point guard he was in his career in the NBA. Almost 900 games played for, I want to say 7 teams, I believe 9 teams. So 9 teams got to experience this greatness. Also made an all-star team one year. And we're both Libras too, man. I didn't know that. I was looking up his information. I see that we're both Libras, and I'm feeling that. But NBA All-Star, NBA the number 2 pick, right behind Larry Johnson in the 91 draft, NBA and New York City point guard legend, Mr. Kenny Anderson, man. What's going on, Kenny? Welcome to the show.
Oh, man, well, that's for nothing, but thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
It's all good,
Thank you, man.
Look, Kenny, I pride myself. Like, I got my New York fitted on right now. I'm in East Coast. I live in Los Angeles, but I'm in East Coast mode right now because I got a true New Yorker on right now. So I got my fitted on, and I got ready for you, dogs. I pride myself on my intros, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Listen, let's get right to it. You played in this league. You've seen everything that's happened. The big story is Kevin Durant with the injury. Just start from top to bottom. Do you think he should have played? Players want to play. How much of this is on Golden State, in your opinion? And what does this probably do to this summer free agency and to him as a player?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but, it's weird, looking at his situation. If I was him, I probably wouldn't have played. I probably wouldn't have played, Game 5 in the championship, and he sat out, Portland and Houston series. I probably wouldn't have played. You know what I mean? And now, it's he got injured. Now he's got to wait, waiting for the repercussions of what is also said about him, and it's just all BS, man. I just would have I don't know. I wouldn't have played. I just would have sat out and got stronger for the upcoming season. That's what I would have done.
And that's interesting coming from a guy from the era that I respect so much. I think the best era of basketball was from 84 to like 2001, 2002. That's just with the meat of, yourself, Jordan, Zeke, Isaiah, Grant, Shaq, Kobe, Duncan, Garnett. Reggie,
wow.
Ewing.
A lot of guys.
Yeah, a lot of guys, like man.
Way before me.
Yeah. A lot of guys, man. And it's a different time now. Contracts are bigger. He's got a player option. So if he wants to put the player option in, it's $31.5 million for him to basically sit out until at the earliest February or March to come back from that, and then still hit free agency next year. So it like I said, it's interesting to hear that from a guy from your era because you guys played through everything. Like you guys had to damn near be killed, Kenny, to be pulled off the court.
Yeah, that was kind of tough. You know what I mean? Just to play without no type of, regrets and everything like that, because we love the game. And that's what it's all about. And that's what it's all about with Kevin. He loves to play the game, but after a while, the way things are, you just got to watch yourself and sit back and just glorify on all the things that happened to you. He's been great. Up until the Houston seed get hurt, and then he's trying to rush back, and it's just a shame, just how people just look at it and be like, oh, this, that, and the other, and just trying to get over on him. And I just wouldn't listen to it. I just would have just sat out and just wait till he gets better, and then he would have performed, like he's been performing.
And that's interesting because you have that honestly with Kawhi Leonard.
Now I would have looked at it differently now.
Oh, now. Okay, now, of course.
See, now.
Yes.
But back then when I was playing, I probably would have played.
Okay.
There wasn't no other thing to it.
Yeah.
But now where the money and everything is involved in the experience, you think about that and you just wouldn't play. You just say, hey, you know what? I didn't play the end of Houston. I didn't play Portland. Let me see. Well, you know what? I won't play in this series either. I'm just going to get better and wait for, chances of getting better. And that's that.
You hit the nail right on the head because KD does, and I'm from the East Coast, man. I love KD. I saw KD in high school with my own eyes at Montrose Christian High School. I seen him play in the Jordan game. I saw him play a few times for AAU with DC Assault when he was with Michael Beasley and Nolan Smith. Like, I was at those games. I saw him in person. So I've been watching KD play for a long time, and I know KD's circle, and KD does pay attention to the noise. KD does go back and forth with people on Twitter. To each his own. I don't really have an opinion about it, but it's interesting that you said that he hears the noise. How much of that you think really played into him coming back to play, where people are saying, well, if they come back from 3-1 and win without you, they don't need you, and when they sweat Portland, oh, they don't need KD. Steph got it now. Like, you know, how much of that you think played into his psyche, not just his psyche, Golden State's front office psyche of, hey, you know, we want to prove him wrong too, buddy. So it's a collective effort, a collective decision. Let's all go play. How much of that you think played into that, Kenny?
Yeah, it played big, about 80% of it. Played
Wow.
big part of it.
Wow.
That, to me, of thinking of how Kevin Durant is, it played big part. And he should have just said, oh, you know, he should have been big. Kawhi Leonard. You know, I was reading some things about him and how he just said, you know what, I'm going to sit out until I'm ready.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
You know, period. And Kevin Durant is a different human being, and he's going to come off and he's going to say, I'm different. I don't care. But hey, it's just a shame that it ended this way, you know, for him.
Absolutely. And while I want to segue that, man, because I don't want to hold on to you too long, to Steph Curry. I think tomorrow, I'm a Steph guy. I've always liked Steph. I like point guards, man. You, Zeke, Steph. I was a Damon Stoudemire fan. Like, I love Kemba Walker. Like, I like watching guard. I couldn't dribble. So I was a football guy. I couldn't dribble that well. So I like guys that can handle the rock. And real quick, I still remember the behind the back you hit at Georgia Tech with the left hand scoop. I remember watching that game. I remember them having it on a highlight tape when they were talking about point guards when the NBA used to release those VHS tapes and the point guard one you were on. I still remember point guards. I watched Steph, and Steph's changed the game, whether people want to admit it or not. 10, 15 years ago, a 30-foot shot would get you benched. Now you see everybody trying to take a 30-foot shot. He's undersized. He's so tough. 2-time MVP, unanimous, 3-time champion. Why just and I'm gonna take it to the color card here. One of my nicknames is the Big Vanilla Color Card because I got a deck of them joints, and sometimes you got to deal them out. I'm the Big Vanilla Color Card. And I believe in our culture and in the African and the black urban culture, we like it when you had to come from the gutter. You had to come from the broken glass courts, the balling with the old shoe. We don't really like and root for people whose dad may have played, didn't have to worry about those type of things. And I really do feel like that's why Steph gets so much heat. Why don't in your opinion, why don't people like Steph Curry?
Dale Curry. You know, I played with his father. It's Charlotte.
Yes, you did.
And a little bit, he doesn't get the credit because his father played, and that's you know, that's crazy, but that's just what it is. And the way the way he's playing now, and he got 3 championships. A 3-point shot, the dribbling, and he's just awesome. He's just awesome.
Yeah.
And you just got to give him credit when credit is due. And he's probably, if not, going to go down as the best point guard that ever played. One of them.
Yeah, I got him right now at 4. I did a top 10 list last week, and I have him at 4 right now because I got to respect Magic and Stockton. I just have to.
I don't know. I don't know. I got Magic, but I don't know about Stockton.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not going to get. I played against him, and I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It is what it is, but I don't know. I'm going to give you Magic and Isaiah Thomas and Magic, and then what? And then who? You know, Stephen Curry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It's right there. It's right there. He's right there.
Where's AI for you?
AI is up there. Wow.
Okay.
AI is up there, too.
Okay.
You know, he's great. He's quick. You know, I played against AI. He's one of the toughest guys to play against. He's one of the fierce competitors, great shooter, quick anticipation. He was just great.
Yeah.
He was great. Him, Isaiah, Curry, those are great point guards. You don't get no better than those guys. Those are great.
2 questions and I'll let you roll, man. Number 1, tomorrow night, who you got?
I wanted Golden State in the beginning to and I'm gonna still go with Golden State. I'm gonna go with Golden State.
I got Golden State tomorrow. I'm with you.
I got go to tomorrow. I know you got Golden State, and then you got Toronto to win at home, right? That's what you got.
Actually, I don't. I think if Golden State, Toronto has to end it tomorrow night. They're not going to win a Game 7 at home.
Ooh, okay, I'm with you.
They're not going to win a Game 7 at home. They got two guys that would know what that feels like, and that's Kawhi and Danny Green. And Siakam, those guys. You can talk what you want to talk early in the rounds and early in the series, but when it come down, that's why I'm a Kobe guy. That's why I'm a Kobe guy. Because regardless of what you say about him, when it was on the line, dog, whether he hit it or he missed it, you knew who was taking it. He wanted the moment. He didn't care if it was 2 or 3 guys. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like Kawhi's explanation. Why did you take the last shot? Well, 2 guys came over to me. Bro, Kobe made a living taking shots over 2 guys. You the man, bro. I'm sorry. I'm from that mindset era where I want to hear 2 guys came. So Kyle Lowry takes the last shot? I'm sorry. I can't ride with that. I may be analytical and all that new millennial crap out today, but hey, I'm like, man, Kobe stepping to the right and he pulling up over both of them, and we gonna live or die. We gonna live with whether he hits or miss. But Golden State in the Game 7 on the road, they've been there, they've done that, they know what's on the line. Iggy will suck it up. Looney will suck it up. These guys will suck it up, man. And Clay is that guy's on the track for about $200 million, because when Kevin Durant hurt, he can actually go to Golden State now and go, listen, I can't take 196. I need $200 million. I can't take 198. I need $200 million. Like, he can really walk in there. So nah, man, I got Toronto. They have to finish it off tomorrow night.
They have to. They have to. I don't think they're gonna.
Me neither.
I was going with Golden State, begin, and I don't think, and I that's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with Golden State. I'm going with Golden State to win it, and I'm sticking with who I said who's gonna win it all, and it's gonna be 3-peat. I'm going with Golden State. Period. I'm going.
And also being a Steph guy, I really need Steph as just a fan, as a basketball fan, as a Steph. I need Steph to win this one, man, because I need all that noise and all this ridiculous noise about Steph to go away. Because what are you gonna say? You can't say it was Durant. He was down 3-1. Durant played 12 minutes. I understand he came in, had 11 points in 12 minutes. Okay, I get that, but
Toronto has beaten them twice there.
I know.
That's what's interesting.
I know.
I gotta see this game.
Yeah,
I gotta see this game.
Yeah,
I'm hyped. This is the one game I haven't really watched. The game I watched them in bits and pieces, but this game I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this whole game because Toronto has beaten them twice at home.
Yes.
So this is gonna be interesting.
And they've beaten Toronto, and they've beaten Toronto twice in Toronto. Weird series, huh?
Yeah, it is.
We're serious.
It's very weird.
Before I wrap up, man, and let you roll, listen, I just want to send my prayers and my condole for my family, my younger brother. I told him I shot him out, Terrence Husky, aka Miss. He's an artist. He owns his own label in the DMV area. He was a super fan of yours, bro. Like, he used to use you on Live 92. Like, we used to use you, dog, on the game. He was a huge fan of yours. And I'm a Carolina guy. Kendall Marshall is my nephew. So Kendall Marshall's my nephew. It's my oldest brother's son. So we're a Tar Heel family. So when we were younger, you know how your brother go against other teams to go against your team? And when you were at Tech, he became a fan of yours to go against, because at that time I was all about Derek Phelps, because Derek Phelps is the point guard. King Rice.
He's from New York.
Yeah, exactly. King. Yeah, King Rice, all those guys.
He beat me in high school my last year. And I ain't gonna say too much. But Derek Phelps is a good point guard.
He was a serviceable college point guard. Yeah. He wasn't an NBA. He wasn't an NBA guy. That team that won it in '92.
When we hang out, give me your brother-in-law's information. I'll send him some stuff. I'm at Fish University now, coaching, and it's been great for me. We're going into my second year. So give me your brother's, your information and all that.
I will. He would greatly appreciate it. He texted me this morning. Could I text him? And I was like, dog, I got your boy on the show today. He was like, yo, bro, give me a shout out, man. Tell him that was I said, I got you, man. It was you and AI. Those are the 2 point guards that he rolled with all through our childhood and teenage years. It was Kenny Anderson, and then when AI came out of G-Town, it was all about. I saw AI play in high school in Bethel. I was at a game where he scored 63 in triple overtime against Woodbridge High School when he was just a sophomore.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw.
Sophomore. Wow.
Yeah, sophomore.
Yeah.
Because remember, he got to the trouble his junior year. He didn't have a senior year.
Yeah. Wow. He didn't. And that's interesting too.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. So, and good luck at Fisk. I looked it up. I know you're up there coaching. I was about to tell you, plug in, let everybody know where you are, praying for your health and everything, man. No doubt, brother.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I recovered and I'm all right, and it's amazing. And that's all I'm gonna say. It's amazing, and it's God. It's amazing. Period. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, man.
Well, listen, we appreciate you. And like I said, this ain't fluff. I don't do kiss ass on my show. Anybody that knows me from all the anchors out, Chris Broussard texted me this morning, told me to tell you what's up. I was joking with him too. I said, if he say who, I'm clowning. Like, if I say your name, exactly. Thank you.
Everybody know the man. He's doing a great job over there. He's the man.
Nah, he's looking out for me, man. He's actually working some back channels trying to help a brother achieve my life goal and dreams, man. Being on TV, talking sports and having my own show. And I've been running this here for 4 years myself out of my home studio. Wow. 20,000 listens. I got 26 states. Wow. I got 16 countries. So yeah, man, this is my passion, bro. This is how I want to make my living and support my wife and my kids, and and grind and go to the ESPY Awards and hang out at the NBA Awards, and I'm trying to do it all. I ain't going front.
Hey, you're going to get there. Believe me. With your work, with your work ethic and everything behind it, you're going to get there. And when you get there, please don't forget Kenny Anderson.
Man, please. No, you always invited to the VJ Entertainment parties. You always invited to the parties, man. Don't even worry about that. Listen, you're an NBA legend to me. You're definitely a New York legend to everybody in New York and in Queensbridge, man. We love you. God bless, and thank you so much.
Don't say Queensbridge. I'm from Left Rack.
Left Rack. My bad. Just Queen. Okay.
I listen very carefully to you.
Okay.
But don't say it. Don't say Queensbridge. Queensbridge is all right. Well, I'm from Left Rack.
All right.
I'm from Left Rack.
My bad.
I'm from Left Rack. All right.
I love New Yorkers. Y'all keep it 100 until you 6 feet deep, man. I love it. He said, don't say Queensbridge. All right, Kenny Anderson, God bless. Good luck with everything, man, and I'll be in contact with you, man. I love you, and I appreciate you, brother. God bless.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Wow. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm at a loss. That was as fun for me as I've ever had doing this show. And I've had Eric Dickerson on this show. I've had Rob Parker. I've had Chris Broussard. I've had Mike Hill. I've had Tom Perkins. I've had NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, analysts, reporters, guys that cover teams for 20, 30 years and different things. I'm at a loss for words. I had probably the realest guest I've ever had and I'm hungry, y'all. Y'all don't even know. I be reaching out to people. I'm just like, I'm going to just roll the dice and see. I reached out to Kenny. I saw him on Twitter. I'm like, listen, I'm going to just, you follow me, you clicking on my stuff. Hey, just please, throw me a bone. Come do my show. I liked you as a player. I loved you as a player. My younger brother was on you hard, man. Let's talk some sports. I reached out to Rasheed Wallace. I reached out to Charles Woodson, and I'm going to get him. I got Jimmy Jackson next week. Hopefully. Jimmy Jackson and I have been playing radio tag for about 3 years. Seriously. I met him at NABJ in DC 3 years ago. And we have been playing radio show tag for the last 3 years. Shout out to my man Louis Estrada, just hit me up on the chat, on the text, telling me that was an awesome interview. Wasn't it, Louis? Kenny Anderson, bro. I'm growing. I'm smiling right now. And newsflash, breaking news for you guys. I actually will be doing color commentary for the Junior NBA in Ladera Ranch, California this weekend. It's their regional championship tournament. And the winner out of this tournament from the boys and the girls will now go on to Orlando in August. And hopefully I get flown out there and call the games at the sports complex in Orlando. That would be just bananas for me. Shout out to my man Chris Sylvester for putting me on again. He's the gentleman that got me calling high school games out here. He's the gentleman that's got me up at Cal Poly as a color commentator calling Division I college football games for ESPN 1280 up there. Working for Max Prep Sports, Sports Prep Nation, VJ Vesson Sports LLC, my own company. Just shout out. I'm grateful, man. I'm just blessed and grateful that I just had that opportunity to talk to. And listen, Kenny Anderson, he almost played 900 games. He played for 9 teams in the league. That's a lot of teams, man. He played for 9 teams in the league. He's one of those guys that you don't need to look at the numbers. You know who he is. You know his impact. It's Kenny Anderson from Queens. I'm not allowed to say Queensbridge. I love that. He came back at me quick. Don't say I'm from there. I'm not from, like, wow, my bad. And see, that lets you know. I thought Queensbridge, like, went for everybody in Queens. I thought that's kind of what everybody from Queens said, but I got put on, and now I learned something today. And all of the Queens is not Queensbridge. I learned something today. But yeah, drafted by the Nets, Kenny Anderson was first round pick, number 2 overall. He was drafted behind Larry Johnson. Mutombo's in that draft. I'm trying to think of some other power names. I know Mutombo was in that draft coming out of G-Town. There was Larry Johnson, Mutombo. I want to say, I think Steve Smith. If I'm not mistaken, Steve Smith is in that draft. Steve Smith is in that draft. Mutombo's in that draft. He went ahead of Steve Smith. Dale Davis. There's another name I can remember that was in that draft. Chris Gatling. I think that's all I got. I think that's the only names I really know off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. Was Terrell Brandon in that draft? I want to say Terrell Brandon. If you guys remember Terrell Brandon, he played at Oregon. And actually, he's from Portland. Matter of fact, Terrell Brandon is from Portland. He played at Oregon. I want to say Terrell Brandon was a lottery pick in that draft that year. But, nor here nor there. Like, great freaking moment, great freaking interview. And I liked what he said about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant plays a little bit. He listens a little bit to the noise. And a little bit too much. And I thought that was a reason why he did come back to play. And I believe that the Golden State front office was with it also. Like, hey, we want to win too. We're tired of hearing about we're not that good. And there's people who actually feel and thought that Toronto's a better team. And that Toronto's better than them. And in all actuality, they're not. They're not better. If Kevin Durant's on that team, they're not, and they're hurt. They're banged up. Iggy's old and hurt. Kevon Looney's got a damn muscle hanging off the bone. And is out there playing, out there busting his ass for his team. It's a collective effort, guys. It's nobody to blame. This blame thing is so sophomoric. It's so amateur hour when it comes to sports talk radio and sports talk TV. And to be quite honest with you guys, I'm frankly kind of tired of it. I'm tired of amateur sophomore sports talk radio and sports talk TV. And I'm not going to say any names. And there's people I watch. Somebody hit my Twitter up the other day. Was like, oh my God. Oh, you're so negative. Who do you like? I like a lot of people. I like Wilbon the Kornheiser. I watch Around the Horn every day. I don't miss Around the Horn in PTI. Good, hard-nosed journalists without their bias and made-up own narratives just talking about what's going on and giving their opinion about it. That's what sports talk is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this, well, I hate the if game. Well, if they get this player, and if they get that guy, and if they get that guy, and if they get the lottery pick, and then they can do this and this, and if they trade this guy and trade this guy and trade. If was a fifth, we all be drunk. If was a dozen of Krispy Kreme donuts, we all be fat. If. It's the biggest 2-letter word in the English dictionary. I don't like doing sports talk like that. I don't care about ifs, because what it does is it gives you wiggle room to be completely wrong and to be completely way left or right and not even have to really own up to it. You just move on to the next created narrative the next day. You move on to the next if. How many people really come back and really keep it a buck and keep it 100 and keep it real and say, you know what, I missed on that. That's why I respect Colin where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. I respect that segment. He's still stroking his ego by where I was right. We all like to be right. Nobody goes, man, I'm so glad that I'm wrong so much. Oh, man, I wish I wasn't so right all the time. And we all, if you could be right, you go to Vegas, right? If you knew what the dice were going to be, you'd go to Vegas and take your life savings. But we need to get back to pure, just great sports talk about what's going on. And I'm getting text messages from people that's listening live in the chat room. A lot of people, great interview, great. I just talked. I had a legend right there in my palm of my hands, and I went out and made that happen. I went out, got that. I want to thank Kenny Anderson again, former NBA player, New York playground legend, and just good man. Everybody knows the incident where he had a stroke, and like he said, I'm good, I'm healthy. He's coaching at Fisk University. That's going to make me watch the Fisk games now. I'm going to check where Fisk is. And Terrence, I told you I had you, bro. You see how I set that up? He said, give him his info. He going to send you some things, homie. I bring people together. I'm the big vanilla glue. I don't like that. I don't know if I like that one. The big vanilla glue gun. Glue gun. There it is. The big vanilla glue gun, man. I hold things together, man. I bring things together. Well, glue doesn't bring things together, holds things together. I gotta think of something. Y'all hit up my chat room, hit up my inboxes on my social media. The Big Vanilla Funny on IG, Veston Sports Network and Comedy on Twitter. And give me some ideas. What brings things together? What brings things? I'm gonna be the Big Vanilla that. Whatever one I get that I think is the funniest and the best, I'll bring it to that. Real talk. Excuse me, quick sidebar. I want to talk about football really fast. We'll get back to Steph, and we'll get back to a little more with Kenny Anderson and anybody else that wants to call in. Louis Estrada, I know you're listening. I would love to hear your voice, brother. I haven't heard you in a while. I know you got an opinion. Like no other, especially on KD in the finals and everything. I know you do work. I know you're over there at Spectrum. I'm not sure where you are, but if you got 10 to 15 minutes, ring in, brother. I would love to bring you in. Quick sidebar, though. The Oakland Raiders, I have been saying ever since they got John Gruden that I am with Gruden. I think Gruden is one of the smartest minds in football. I think Gruden is one of the best game planners in football. I think Gruden is one of the best scheme men in football. You don't watch that much tape and watch that much film and school quarterbacks and all these different things that you can do with your mind in football, with your intelligence of football, and not going to be successful. Everybody freaked out when he cleared some cap room and got some picks to try to rebuild the team because you move Khalil Mack on and you move on Amari Cooper. I did not feel bad about the moves. I did not disagree with the moves at all. I agree with them. And I know most people were like, are you crazy? You agree with those moves? And I'm like, yes, because if you really want to keep it 100 and keep it real, they weren't good with those guys. Why not let those guys move on? And why not get some picks and get the players you want? Khalil Mack's a great player. Maybe they weren't going to work well together. Khalil Mack wasn't rushing to come back to OTAs. Khalil Mack wasn't rushing to come back to minicamp and the involuntary stuff. So let's not act like Khalil Mack was all in and the Raiders were just doing him wrong. You moved him on. You got some draft picks. We don't know what these kids are going to work out to be that he drafted. We're going to find out because they're going to get the opportunity to play. And we're going to see what Derek Carr really got. He's got Derek Carr. And now you add AB. You can say whatever you want to say about AB in Pittsburgh. A lot of that is Tomlin. I've been saying it for years. It starts at the top, and then it goes to Ben. You can't point and start blaming the receiver first. There's some leadership that's missing there. But you get that type of threat, and you can tell, hey, it may be good for a year or two. I don't know. But I know it ain't going to be bad this year. When 84's open, he's getting the football. I got him at 13, 14 touchdowns. He'll be the first receiver I take in fantasy. On every fantasy team I do this year, I'm riding with AB all day. Plus, my wife's a Raider fan. And I don't really have nothing against the Raiders. I'm still pissed about the sea of hands, but that happened a long time ago. But I'm riding with the Raiders, and I say all that to say, I do not watch Hard Knocks. I watched 1 year, and that's when my Dolphins are on. I will watch every second of Hard Knocks because they announced yesterday it is going to be, guess who? The best offseason story without any BS drama is going to be the Oakland Raiders. I cannot wait. Some would say the Cleveland Browns, but Odell is wilding right now, and the coach ain't happy. That's bad TV. I need to see Gruden, the intensity, these 3 top 20 picks they got. I got to see these guys. I got to see AB. I want to see more Derek Carr. This was perfect. This was a home freaking run. This was a knockout the park. This was no brain. This wasn't brain surgery. You get the Raiders in there this year with all the stuff they got going. Come on. And really quick, I ask and I shall receive. My favorite Mexicana in Los Angeles just called in, man. My man from Spectrum Sports does Luis Strada Sports House over on Blog Talk. Does a really cool wrestling show podcast that we haven't done in a while. That's because the product is crap, but we can always talk some AEW. I'm sold,
yes,
baby. I'm over there. My man Luis Estrada right now in the Vanilla Sports Batcave. What's going on, Luis?
Not much, man. It's been a minute, and you're right. We haven't done that podcast in a while because the product is, like you said, man, it's just been absolutely horrendous. AEW came in and blew the WWE out of the water, and they came back with such a bad response on the Raw the following night.
Yep.
That they just have this super show down in Saudi Arabia that was
horrible.
To say it was horrible would be nice.
Horrible.
I mean, I looked at the card and I'm just like, what match on there do I want to see?
Yeah.
I mean, like seriously, like Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler would have been nice, right? But there was no build up. They just bring him back for a couple of shows because Dolph has been off doing his stand up comedy, and he'll be back for another couple of weeks, and then he'll be gone again.
Yep.
Outside of that, I don't want to see Goldberg and The Undertaker.
Did you see how bad, dude? Did you see how bad some of those spots were? Like that was that, bro. If they were 19, 20 years old, they would have got kicked out of the Performance Center. They wouldn't even be allowed back in.
Absolutely. Look, if this was 10 years ago, that would have been a WrestleMania main event.
Oh yeah,
let's be real. But now, I'm sorry. Look. All due respect to The Undertaker, he's one of my favorites of all time. Hall of Famer, one of the best, if not the best of all time. That being said, this guy should not be in the ring anymore.
No.
We've been saying this for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
He just is. I understand he's still a draw. I understand he's still a name, but the guy can't go. He's been hurt too much. Not only does it risk him, it risks his opponent. You saw the tombstone. I'm sure you've seen the gifs and whatnot. The tombstone that he gave to Goldberg, it was very reminiscent to the pile driver that the late great Owen Hart gave to Steve Austin.
That almost ended his career. Yep.
So it was very scary to watch it. And then you look at the rest of the card. Triple H and Randy Orton. We've seen this about 1 million times over the last 15 years. I don't need to see that anymore. Triple H is another one. Much respect for everything he's accomplished.
He's done.
He's been done.
He's done. He's been done for 3 years, in my opinion.
Easy.
Yeah, he's been done.
I think his last decent match was the one he had with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 32. That was maybe his last decent match. After that, it's just been, this and that. And
Rollins carried him. I remember that match. I thought Rollins carried him.
I did too.
Yeah, Rollins made him look great.
Yeah, I remember, or maybe it was WrestleMania 33 that one happened. Because WrestleMania 32, I think, was the one where he fought Sting, and that was great for nostalgia. Mm-hmm. But even then, Sting kind of carried that a little bit more than Triple H did, and Sting was coming off of really not wrestling for a while. So it's just been. When you look at that card, I'm just sitting here like, and then they had, this is the one that cracked me up the most. They had the Lucha House party, all 3 of them going against Lars Sullivan. And it's like, you're building this guy up, and you're putting up against 3 guys who are basically jobbers now, making it a handicap match. There was nobody in the world who had half a brain who thought Lars Sullivan wasn't going to win that match.
Yeah.
It's awful. The best thing they got going right now is Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. That's it. They don't have anything else right now. Lacey Evans has been really good, but that's about it.
Hey, man, she's a former Marine. That chick can go.
Oh, absolutely.
That chick can go. I love her persona. I love the character she created. The character she created is perfect. Like, I don't think maybe back to Glow. I could think maybe Bambi back to Glow, or one of the women back in Glow when it was on TV back in the late 80s, early 90s. Maybe maybe a character back then, but we've never seen this type. The theme music works, the character works, but when the bell rings, you can tell she can go, and she's a Marine.
Oh, yeah.
She can go.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before they put the strap on her.
Oh, absolutely. There's rumors that they got big plans for her going forward. And I'll tell you some things about her. I follow her on Instagram, and I absolutely love her Instagram because her Instagram is not wrestling. You know, she'll throw a couple of things here or there. It's about the love she has for her daughter. And that is something that blows me away because you don't see that, especially with celebrities and wrestlers putting up all their personal stuff on there. I don't know if she's married or if the dad is involved. I believe there's a man in her life. I just don't know who he is. But she is all about her daughter. And that is so awesome to see.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it right now. She's in the nail. Yeah, I'm looking at it right. I'm on her IG right now, and her and her daughter. There's a picture of they're getting manicure and pedicure together.
Yeah.
She was an MP. She was an MP, man. Those MPs don't. Yeah. They're nothing to play with, man.
No, she's not. She's going to be the next big woman star in that division. And it's funny because you think about women's wrestling, the way it's kind of taken over, it's become the real hot ticket. Most of those women are pretty young. Bailey's not even 30 yet. Sasha's, I think, maybe 25, 26.
Yeah, I was about to say, Sasha's in her mid-late 20s at the most.
Yeah, I think Charlotte maybe late 20s, and I think Becky Lynch is around the same. They're young, and those four women are kind of the ones that are really spearheading this division. And Alexa Bliss, who's been really, since she came up to the main roster, has done really, really well for herself. She's in her mid to late 20s. So it's not like they're old wrestlers. They're young. This women's division's got a lot of bright future ahead if, and this is a big if Vince doesn't screw it up like it screws everything else up recently. But I'll tell you what, that women's division's fantastic. Lacey Evans is one to watch out for sure. When I look at the men's division, I even though I got guys that I like Seth Rollins, I like Roman Reigns, I kind of yawn at it. I think the storylines are bad. I think they're not giving these guys a chance to really go anywhere, and they're just kind of throwing things together. I think that they're like this whole thing with Brock and the Money in the Bank. Are you kidding me? Now, I will give him credit. I do like this whole little Brock party thing going. It actually is showing him with having a little bit of charisma, giving him a little bit of a personality. But if there's one guy that didn't need that, it was Brock. I mean, come on. Brock has been in the title picture for 5 years. Do you think people were mad about Cena being in the picture for so long? At least Cena was there. Brock, You're lucky if you see him every 3 months. So I would cut ties with Brock completely, but I've never been a Brock guy anyway.
They can't, man. It's too much. Vince is about the big guy, and like I said, we did a podcast. I'm glad we hadn't done one because if we did, we'd be talking negative the whole show because the product is just bad. Listen, I want to get to Kevin Durant. I don't have to tee this up. You've been listening. I've been seeing your comments. Just go from the top, man. Your whole thoughts on him coming back, playing. Are you playing the blame game? Be real. Keep it a buck, man. You playing the blame game? The crocodile tears that people are saying the owner have. I believe the owner was really pissed and hurt because you do get to know these players, regardless of the business. There is still a human side to a lot of these connections and relationships. I don't know if he was really crying. I'm just not the guy that's just gonna go, oh man, save those crocodile tears. Nobody wants to believe anybody's got any real damn emotion anymore, and I hate that because I'm an emotional guy. I'm a passionate type person. I don't mind sharing my feelings with people and things. And so I hate when people go that route, like these crocodile tear things. So I didn't really like that, coming out of a few mouths on TV and radio. But just from the top, man, just from the moment you found out and you heard that he was playing till he reached down and grabbed the right Achilles and fell on the floor.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that when he first got hurt, you said it. I know you and I talked about it, and I know a colleague of ours, Tom Perkins, he and I talked about it. That looked like an Achilles right away.
Yep.
We all thought it was an Achilles. So when they came back and it was just a calf, you were like, okay, but what? They never really said what degree it was. They never really said anything. And it's like, when you talk about a calf, you're not sure if you don't know if it's a tear or you don't know what exactly. You just hear sprain. People have the idea that when you hear the word sprain, it's like, oh, that's a good thing. Let me tell you, I sprained my ankle back when I was 19. I tore 3 ligaments in my left foot, my left ankle. And the doctor told me that I would have been better off breaking my ankle than spraining it, because at least with the break, you go in, you do the surgery, you can, you clean it out, you get it fixed right away. Where with a sprain, not only do you have to give it time to heal, but you have to give it kind of a little bit more time because it's still ginger, it's still tender. And because it wasn't completely ripped off and broken, you're constantly worrying about that, because imagine like a rubber band. When you got a rubber band, you stretch that thing out, and then it goes back. You stretch it out and goes back. But eventually that stretching kind of goes away, and then it's just elongated. So it's kind of loose. And that's kind of what, at least the way it was explained to me, when you have a sprain, you're just stretching it out too much. You're better off breaking it, repairing it, and getting it put back right than having to kind of loose, because then you're constantly going to be, like I know I had a problem for a long time where I was constantly rolling my ankles because my ankles were loose. So I had to go start wearing, the guards on the side of my feet when I played ball and whatnot. So when you hear sprain, it's not always a better thing. And so I think what happened here is with KD, he sprains his calf. It wasn't completely healed. He's trying to rush back because, look, we can say all we want about Kevin Durant, whether you like the fact that he went to Golden State or not, whether whatever people think about him, that you can say whatever you want. But the bottom line is he's a competitor and he wants to win.
Yeah.
He's shown that. He's proven that. It's like Kobe said, winning championship is not for everybody.
No, thank you. It's not.
No, it's not. We saw, how many guys have we seen that had all the ability to lead a team to a championship but didn't want to put in the work? KD wants to put in the work. There's never been anything to counter that. We've always seen that from him. So he tried to come back. I think he tried to come back a little early, whether it was him telling the doctors, hey, I want to come back, I'm ready to come back, whether it was the fact that they were down 3-1. I don't know the severity of his initial injury. That being said, I fully believe if there was a hint that he wasn't ready to go, I don't think he would have been out there. I think at some point you have to say, as a medic, no, you're not ready. So I don't think they would have given him the clear, even down 3-1, if they didn't feel confident in him. Because what's the word I'm looking for? What's the advantage of getting him for one game and then he re-aggravates it?
Pushing it to a game 6.
Right. But that's an NBA
I mean,
thing.
I get it. Like, to be honest with you, he hears the noise. Kenny, you just heard me and Kenny talk about. He hears the noise. I believe the front office hears the noise too. People are actually saying this team's better than Golden State, dog. And we know if Golden State's healthy, this is a 5-game series at the most.
Oh, absolutely.
They've gone in there and beaten Toronto twice without Kevin Durant.
Oh, absolutely. Look, and I'm going to give Toronto credit. Toronto, I heard people, and this was really kind of something that was pissing me off, to be honest with you. If people were saying, well, they're basically saying, well, KD's not playing, Clay's not playing, so this is kind of if Toronto wins, it's a false championship. I hate that shit. Because here's the thing. Toronto, it's not like Toronto's out there cutting guys down. It's not like Toronto's out there, causing these injuries. No, these are freak injuries. You cannot control, if you're Toronto, what's happening with the guys on the other team. You just got to go play the team in front of you. And if you happen to be better than the team that's in front of you, you're just better than that team on that day. That's what it is. You can't discredit what Toronto's doing because they had the injuries. Now, do the injuries make an impact? Yes, they do. They absolutely do. Because you're not talking about the 12th man off the bench, the 11th guy off the bench. You're talking about an MVP and a 2-time finals MVP in Kevin Durant. You're talking about an all-NBA player in Klay Thompson, who missed a game. You're talking about one of their bigger up-and-coming youngsters, Kevon Looney, who got his shoulder messed up and is out there trying to play.
Oh, God. Did you see the other night when the camera zoomed, when he was on the free throw block waiting to get, they wait for him to set up for the free throw? And the way he was just hunched over, like, this ish hurts. Like, I don't know what's going on, but and they pulled him out like I think 2 plays after that, and he never came back in. But that's heart, man. He showed some serious heart.
Oh, absolutely. Look, that's the one thing. Like, a lot of people don't like Golden State because they're winning. A lot of people don't like Golden State because of KD and what he did to get over there and whatnot. Look, I love Golden State, and I'm a Laker fan. But the thing being is Golden State's done everything the right way. They've drafted the majority of these guys. They traded for Iguodala. They actually got Iguodala, I believe. No, they got him from Denver. I was going to say in the Dwight Howard trip, but they got him from Denver.
They got him from Denver, but no one else wanted him. Iguodala was a throwaway guy. Denver was trying to get rid of him.
Right. And people forget he was an all-star when he was in Philadelphia.
Yes.
The guy can play. So it's like Sean Livingston, he can play. People forget about all of this stuff. And then you bring in KD, yes, and you don't like it because they're winning. You don't like it because they're steamrolling through everybody. You don't like it because he joined that 73-win team.
If he didn't went to Cleveland, everybody would have loved it because it would have gave who some more. I mean, he's the only one that's allowed to stack a team. No one else can do it but him. And I always thought, well, KD just did what you did. He just upped the ante. When people go, it's not the same. I go, you're right. It's not the same. But white bread wasn't the same until somebody decided to say, okay, well, I'm going to put oats on the top of the white bread. And then somebody else said, well, I'm going to add a little honey and I'm going to make it with oats on it, but I'm going to make it wheat. So it's healthier. So yeah, you made bread. And then whoever came out with the Hawaiian roll just shut everybody down.
Right. And that's the thing, like, it's funny, I had this conversation with someone the other day. And I said it like this. If what happens in Miami doesn't happen, then KD going to Golden State doesn't happen. And I firmly believe that. Well, am I right?
No, you absolutely. I've said that to people. Said, bro, if he never does the Miami thing, I don't think KD ever makes that move because KD hears the noise and you start to see LeBron getting these rings. I had somebody tell me once, and this is just a quick sidebar, but still on topic. I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to put her name out there, who used to work for Nike corporate. Remember the LeBron and Kobe puppet commercials that were awesome?
Yep.
They said LeBron's people reached out to them after Kobe won number 4 or 5, I believe it was. And he wanted them done. Because you remember the commercial after Kobe won the ring, the puppet comes in the house, he's celebrating. Montel Jordan, this is how you do it's playing in the background. Confetti flying around. And then when he gets to LeBron in the kitchen eating cereal, he's just normal Kobe walking by. LeBron, he looked up, Kobe. And then when he gets past him again, he starts up. They said that started to get to LeBron. He didn't like the fact that they did the commercials and it was great. But Kobe's winning these rings. He hadn't had a championship yet. So he heard the noise too. So I don't understand why everybody jumped on KD. That's just a quick sidebar. Like I said, I know a female friend of mine, very, very, very close good friend of mine, who was working with Nike corporate at the time, and she had overheard 2 executives talking about it. And she knows I'm really. She goes, "Hey, I got something for." And then she told me, and this was when the commercials went off. I was like, "God, why'd they take that off the air?" And she was like, "Oh, I can tell you why that got taken off." I was like, "Oh,
yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense." Look, these guys hear it, and when you were talking earlier about people not believing the tears and not the emotions, let me tell you something. I used to be one of those guys. Okay, but now that I'm working where I'm working and I'm doing what I'm doing. You get to understand a little bit more the mentality. You get to understand that, look, these things that they're feeling are real. These things that their emotions that they're going through are real. Okay? And you don't see that as a fan because you expect them to be these hard, tough guys, or in let's say in the Kevin Durant place, he goes after the media because he doesn't like the way that he's being talked to, or he trolls people on Twitter because he doesn't like what people are saying about him. But the reality of it is, these people, regardless of what the majority of people think, the people in the front office, the media who's covering them, and the players themselves, they all care about each other. Whether you want to believe it or not, they really do. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I was working a game last night. I was working Dodgers and Angels last night, and we're watching the game in the ninth inning, and you see Corey Seager pull up with what looks like a hamstring injury, rounding third base in the ninth inning. And as soon as it happened, the entire studio, you just felt like a weight dropped on the studio because of what Corey Seager's already gone through to get back to where he was, missing almost all of last year, struggling the first part of this year. He was finally starting to hit well the last couple of weeks, playing back to himself, and then he gets hurt. And you felt it. And it wasn't like a made up, like, oh crap, there goes our team. It was, no, I hope he's okay. What's up with the player? And there's a genuineness to it that a lot of fans don't see. So when I look at what Bob Myers said and I look at what KD said, I absolutely believe that 100%, because I absolutely believe that there is more to what these athletes and these general managers than what people give them credit for. They're still human beings, guys.
Yep.
They're still people.
Well, DeMarcus hit the nail right on the head. DeMarcus said we're only allowed to be these superstar athletes. We're not allowed to be regular people, and it's the bleep, it's the bleep that y'all. Yep. It's the only bleep y'all care about. Y'all don't care about it, because I am disgusted with the fake notion. I threw it out there on all my social media, and before Jalen actually said it very well. He still said he wouldn't have played. I'm not talking about whether people would have played or not. Just don't act like the blame game of Golden State's front office to act like you care about Kevin Durant. The same journalists, the same reporters, the same radio and TV guys I've watched crush Kevin Durant for the last 3 years. And even 4 if you add in giving up the 3-1 lead over Golden State in the Western Conference Finals 4 years ago. If you want, those are the same guys that are, oh my God, they should be ashamed of themselves. Golden State's front office, they should be embarrassed. Why do you don't act like you care about Kevin Durant now, because it gives you an outlet to trash the Golden State franchise even more, because like you said, they're winning. It's like the Patriots. Dog, I don't care about Spygate. I never did. If you go spy back. It's like the SEC. Right. It's like the SEC says, if you're not what, you're not trying. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You know why nobody in the SEC gets caught? Because they're all doing it. So it's like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Deflated footballs, dog, listen, let me tell you something. When I beat you behind 41-3 in football, it ain't have a damn thing to do with the football. I blocked you out, caught you out, passed you out, thought you out, hit you. I wrapped and tackled better. I covered better. My team did everything eons better than you. We would have beat you with some socks rolled up in duct tape like we used to do as a kid to play football on our knees in the living room. I'd have beat you with that if I'm beating you 41-3. But they win. They win.
Right.
It's so funny. We're in a country that's supposed to be the best country in the world, but we hate winners here. Like that's so ass backwards.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Spygate, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you, but I know I've mentioned it to other people. Spygate gets me hot, and I'll tell you why. It's so stupid, because isn't that what scouts do? Don't they go and scout other teams to try to find out?
Absolutely, yeah. You look at game film. You look at film.
Right. And here's the thing, and this is what I've told everybody. I could know what you're doing. Okay, let's take the Lakers in the 2000s when they had Shaq and Kobe, at that time, right? Yeah. Or hell, let's even go back to Jordan and the Bulls, right? You knew what Jordan was going to do, right?
Yep.
You knew he was either going to pull up or he was going to drive on you. You knew that he had guys that if he went to the right, he might be setting Scottie up on the side or setting up Kerr on the side or Paxton. You knew what their game plan was. You still had to go out and stop it. You still had to go out and play the damn game and actually stop the thing. So even if you knew what they were doing, you still had to go out and actually do something about it. And that's what's so stupid to me about Spygate is if they knew what they were going to do, great. They still had to go out and stop you.
Yep.
Now, if they stopped you, that's on you. That means you didn't do your job. Because if you think
you didn't spy hard enough.
Right. Well, no, I look at it like this. If you think about every single play that's ever been designed in football. Isn't it, in theory, theoretically designed to go for a touchdown?
Yeah, absolutely. Every play is designed to score, just like every shot in basketball is designed to go in.
Right, exactly. So if that's, if we agree that that's what the purpose of each play is, then if you get stopped, then you didn't do something right. Then you didn't block somebody, or, in theory, that's the way it is. So to me, that's why Spygate is so dumb. People say, oh, well, they knew this, they knew that. Look, they knew it. That's fine. You know what? You still had to go out and stop them.
And with that, and swinging back to KD and the injury. So obviously you're not taking the blame. You're not taking the blame game. You're kind of on the same side I am. Athletes want to play. Yeah. Superstars want to play. It is what it is. Guys want to get out there, man. And so I'm with you. It wasn't nobody's damn fault. It was a collective effort. They all knew the risk. They're not that dumb. They all knew what could have happened. But Isaiah Thomas told the best story on the NBA postgame show on NBA TV the other night, where he said he had a slight tear in his Achilles, just a slight. And the doctor told him, at some point it's going to tear. You can either have the surgery and then be out for the next, back then, year, or you can just, continue to play on it. It could tear this summer. It could tear in the next practice. It could tear in the next game. It could tear on you walking up the stairs at home, but it's going to tear. And he said at that point he made a decision, okay, I'm going to play. Larry Bird played the last 5 years of his career with a bad back. Nobody should play with a bad back. That you at least want to walk at the end of your damn career. You got to be kidding me. But I don't see nobody blaming Boston for having Larry Bird. Yeah, for having Larry Bird play. They kept that team together too damn long. Nobody still even keep it real and look at Boston as dog. Y'all kept McHale, Parrish, Bird. Y'all kept them way too long. And they didn't get Duncan. Remember, they were tanking for Duncan. They didn't land Duncan. It set them back 12, 15 years. And they had a Pierce and they had Antoine, but the closest they got was the second round. I'm not sure that team ever made it to a conference finals. And they didn't. They actually lost to Toronto in the second round one year, missing out on the conference finals. So that Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, Tony Delkin, those guys, that team I don't think ever made to a conference final. So you just blaming the front office thing. You talk about stuff that got under my skin. Was just like, God, you guys just want to try to make something up to act like that you care about Durant, and you're so disgusted with the Golden State Warriors front office now. I do think there is a sense of jealousy. Silicon Valley, if you've been up there, you go up there, it is an aura of freedom. They don't wear suits to work. Everybody's in jeans and t-shirts and sneakers and walking around with their lattes and which are delicious. My wife just recently put me onto lattes. I love one. I can't wait till I'm on the movie set one day. I'm still going to be a good, humble guy, but the one thing I'll say every morning to my assistant is, where's my damn latte? Just to get that out. Yeah, I just want to get that out. I just want to go, where's my damn, hey, who's got my damn latte? Okay? I don't play this crap. And make sure it's got the cinnamon and the nutmeg in it today, okay, guys? Come on now. We got work to do.
But give me the same, just with no foam.
Exactly. So this whole and the foam, I tell you this, you better have that cute little tree drawn in it with the foam. I want the tree. I want to know. That looks like a pine tree. I want a Mr. Miyagi bonsai tree. Oh, well, then you're fired.
Yeah, right.
I think that's the only celebrity arrogant thing I would probably, and I'd be joking with it, but every new intern, that's their initiation. That's their initiation. And it's a quiet kept thing. Nobody's allowed to tell. But whoever the newest intern is, I tell them I want a latte and I want this foam drawn into a tree. And I'll wait for them to bring it back and go, no. I want a Mr. Miyagi bonsai tree. How old are you? So you've never even seen the real Karate Kid, have you? I'm disgusted. Right. You disgust me. Get out of my damn sight.
They're trying to get on YouTube Red and trying to find what Cobra Kai really means.
Exactly. Yeah. Why don't you go Google what Cobra Kai really is, okay? Chief, I'll tell you. You damn millennials. And that goes for the rest of you damn millennials around here, too. Bonsai trees and my damn latte. Okay?
No, I'm gonna tell you what mine is. Mine's gonna be who is driving the pink Cadillac for Rhythm and Blues at WrestleMania 6.
Oh my God, man! You're kidding me. Listen, let's jump to Steph Curry real quick. I honestly think, I hate to say this because I don't like trying to judge people's legacy on one game or one series. Even with LeBron, even though I'm not a LeBron guy, I gave it some years. I gave it some runs and some playoff series and finals appearances and wins or losses to say, okay, well, this is the guy I think that he is as far as if you want to put a stupid list together. Fine. I do think tomorrow night, though, is a legacy game for him. And then, of course, Game 7, if they win tomorrow night, would be a legacy game for him. There would be no way, and this is how you're going to find out how corny a lot of sports talk TV and radio people are today. If they come back from 3-1, you either have one or two things to say. You know what? I was wrong about Curry. He carried his team. Yeah, he got his Splash brother. Every Batman's got a Robin. Yeah, every Joker's got a Harley Quinn. Yeah, he's got his Splash brother with him. But we know this all goes through Steph. If it was up to Klay Thompson, if he was the only guy on that team, they'd be out in the first round. They wouldn't even be a top 5 or 6 seed in the playoffs. Yep. They might not even make it in the Western Conference. So I believe that if they win tomorrow night and they could pull off Game 7, come back from 3-1, there's only one or two things you can say is I was wrong. Steph's the man. That's one of the greatest point guards I've ever laid, one of the greatest NBA players I ever laid my eyes on. Or the corny people will say, well, when you really look at it, they played Toronto just to be able to not give him his props. Am I dead on? Do you feel me on that, or am I off?
Oh, I absolutely feel. Not only do I feel you on that, and it won't even be. Steph could go out and win let's say that Golden State wins the next 2 games. Steph goes off. He wins Finals MVP. The narrative is going to be what happened to Toronto. Why did they collapse? That's going to be the narrative. It's not going to be, damn, Steph was shooting the lights out. He got his team back, got him involved. It's not going to be that. It's going to be why did Toronto collapse? Where was Kawhi? Where was, and then it'll be, the narrative will be, well, Siakam's a rookie, and outside of Kawhi and Danny Green, no one's ever been there. It'll be Gasol, Marc Gasol is just a shell of this former self. That's what it's going to be if Toronto ends up losing the series. It's not going to be because Steph did this. It's not going to be because it'll be, if they mention Steph, it'll be Steph and Klay. Or it'll be Steph and Draymond. Yeah. It won't be just Steph. Now, Steph, to me, I love Steph, but sometimes he frustrates the hell out of me.
Oh, well, me too. He's so careless with the ball sometimes. It's like, dog, come on. You're so much better than this.
Oh, absolutely. But not only that, Steph is one of those guys, like we talk about Kobe, okay? When we talk about Kobe, if Kobe didn't have his shot A working, he went to shot B, and if that wasn't working, he went to plan C and then plan D. With Steph, you don't really see that. It's, okay, his three's not going in the first quarter. He steps back 5 feet and takes a 30-foot three in the second quarter. He doesn't really, and it's always a quick shot early in the count, early in the shot clock. It's never, you never see the ball movement when Steph isn't going. But then he starts getting hot. You're like, oh, it's all right, it's Steph. So it frustrates the hell out of me because Golden State can be so good when they pass the ball around. They set Steph up or they set play. And when Steph gets going, there's nobody that can shoot the ball like him ever. When he is on, nobody touches him. That's why Steph can frustrate the hell out of me. That being said, if I need somebody to make buckets in today's game, there's nobody I want more than Steph. As much as he frustrates me, he's my guy. Because there's nobody I trust that's going to sit there and... We talk about shooters being shooters and just shooting the ball. Steph is a point guard. He gets everybody involved, but he gets his. And he gets his in a way where it doesn't seem to take away from the offense, which I love. And nobody can shoot you into a game faster than Steph. Maybe Klay is right there with him. I think him and Klay are probably the 2 best ones in the NBA today, and they just happen to play on the same team. But Steph, to me, if they win this, it's because of Steph. If they come back, it's because of Steph. There is no, oh, well, it was, because KD's done. We know that. KD's done. He's not coming back.
KD is done until the end of February.
Right. And you've got Klay. As great as Klay is, I love Klay. Klay can Klay, like you said, he likes to play the Robin. He likes to kind of be in the shadows, doesn't like to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
And then you've got the only one that really wants that spotlight on Golden State that's not Steph is Draymond. And when you look at Draymond and Steph, there's no comparison. As much as I love Draymond, it's Steph.
Of course.
So it's going to be interesting. Steph does have to have a legacy performance in 2 games if they're going to win the series. Because if they do it tomorrow night, I think they win Game 7. I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
If it goes to a Game 7, Golden State wins.
Yeah, well, if whoever wins. So I thought whoever won Game 5 were going to win the series. Because you got to go to Oracle, and they've won in Oracle, but I just think it's going to be a different animal in Oracle tomorrow night. I don't think it's going to be easy, though. I do think that they will show up and make it a good game. It's going to be a good game. If you really look at it, they didn't hit their threes in Game 5.
No.
They didn't hit their threes, and Golden State did. But Golden State is one of those teams that when they get into a rhythm, it doesn't go from play to play and quarter to quarter. It goes from game to game.
Yeah,
they have 3 and 4 and 5 game runs where they're just hot from downtown. And then that starts to feed the guys like Cook hitting 3 and McKinney hitting the 3 and Iggy hitting 3. Like, it starts to really filter through the team. And I'm just afraid that Game 5 got that started for them. They hit 23 of them, I think it is, and that's a record
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And that's a record for a road team in NBA Finals history. So here we are, this team is depleted and hurt and banged up, and they're still setting finals game records. If that carries over and they win Game 6 tomorrow night, there's no way in hell Toronto wins Game 7 on Sunday. And I'm calling the Junior NBA Regional Championship Tournament this weekend down in Ladale Ranch. So I'll have to DVR that Game 7 and just start it late once I get home. I think I'm there till about 5 that day on Sunday, and the game starts. Actually, I might make it home. Depends. I might not have to start it back. But anyway, I do think whoever I thought who won Game 5. Now, I'm not even going to go to Game 6. I thought who won Game 5 was going to win the series. I don't think Toronto. And one last thing. They've been on both sides of a 3-1. So the first time they came back. The second time they gave it up. So is it kind of the pattern now for them to come back again? And that's another thing I'm looking at too. So, but I need Steph though, man. I'm not going to front. Steph got a ball. I can't keep defending you, bro, if you're going to leave me out there hanging.
No, I think if Golden State wins this thing, it's going to be because of Steph. And here's the thing that people have to understand. There's an old cliche, an old saying, there's nothing more dangerous than someone that's got nothing to lose. And that goes for this team. Golden State is playing with, if you want to say house money, right now they are. Because people had them dead after they went down 3-1.
Yep.
Now it's 3-2. They're backed into a corner. They're free to play as free as they want because what do they have to lose now? They're now expected to lose by most, quote, experts.
Whoa, shit, by everybody. If you look online, you got people already saying Kawhi took down 3 dynasties. He took down the Heat, and he broke up the Spurs, his own damn dynasty, and now he's about to take down. I mean, people are already putting it out there like, this series is over. Very reminiscent of when Tracy McGrady went up 3-1 on my Pistons, and the famous line of, it feels good to get to the second round, and the Pistons won 3 in a row. And went on, and once again, you were dealing with a championship team they've been to the conference finals. They've been to the finals. These teams, you got to put these guys away, man. They're not giving up. For Draymond to run out there and get that hand on that shot and make sure he jumped to the side, and there was no way you could call a foul. There was just, and you heard me tell Kenny, I was so disappointed in hearing Kawhi Leonard say, and see, this is what's wrong with sports, especially the NBA. Oh, he made the right play. Analytics said, man, dog, you are the man. That whole two guys thing, Kobe Bryant made a living. He made $250 million, shoot, and won 5 championships. And it passed Jordan and scored, shooting over 2 people. I don't want to hear that, dog. I'm sorry.
Analytics, in my opinion, are ruining sports in a way that, look, you can look at the numbers all you want. You can look at, what tendencies are, and they're going to help you. They're going to help you. I'm not going to lie. But when it comes down to end of the game, when it comes down to strategies, we see this in baseball all the time, and it drives me absolutely freaking nuts. You still got to go out there and play. You got to make the right play for that moment, for that game, right? Like, the word, for me, the thing I hate more than anything right now in sports is the damn shift in baseball. I hate that damn thing. And you know what I hate more than the shift? Is the fact that nobody's taking advantage of the fact that they're loading up 3 guys on one side. You've got one person on the other side. Just bunt the damn ball to the other side and get on base. How hard is that to do? It's just a baseball play. You make the right play. And in Kawhi's, play at the end of game 5, you got to take that shot.
Yeah,
I understand. I
don't want to hear. I don't want to hear 2 guys and see that's why the Max Kellerman. Oh, he's better than Kobe. All these people. God. He's Jordan. Jordan. Are you kidding me? Jordan ain't passing that. Jordan is doing a 2 hard dribble to the right. He's dipping his shoulder and he's elevating over you. And he's doing the fall away jump, and we just gonna live with the results of a hit or a miss. You're swinging to Van Fleet, who it seems like a little bit of his baby magic. Now I'm gonna tell you this though, that's gonna be a good player. He's gonna be a good player for the next 12. That guy's got 12, 13 years if he wants to play. Now if he decides I want to retire early and go do that, but if basketball is his life, he's gonna play 10 to 13 years in this league. Easily. Oh, absolutely. That's a good player, man, because he can defend and he can shoot. But you're asking him to shoot it. He got it out of his hands real fast and got it over to Lowry. And for Draymond to track that ball, and I'm not mad at Lowry taking the shot, because, damn, if Kawhi ain't going to take it, well, the next guy I probably want to take it is going to be Lowry or Danny Green, because Danny Green's a 3-point shooter. But for Lowry, for Draymond to track that down, man, that to me, that was just all champion. That was all, we're champion. Y'all gonna have to knock us out. We just not gonna give up because we're down. Right. We've been here before. Y'all haven't. We've been here before.
Oh, absolutely. Look, when KD went down, one of the first things I told somebody is I said, Golden State's got that championship mentality. They remember they can win without KD. They've done it. They've been there.
Yep.
They have that confidence in each other. And they were like, oh, that was 4 years ago, and that's not really how. I'm like, no. When you have that mentality and you've done it, it doesn't matter how many years ago. It doesn't matter if you've gotten older. It doesn't matter if you can't even do it at the same level as you did before. You have the confidence in yourself that you can. And the confidence is what's going to carry you. Now, you may not be able to do it anymore. I get that. But if you're confident in yourself, you're going to elevate yourself a little bit more and maybe do things a little bit better than you possibly physically could. Because you have that confidence in yourself. And that's what Golden State has. Like you said, that play with Draymond, championship mentality, championship play. We've been there. I know how to do this. And those are the kinds of things that are going to take either win you a championship or lose you a championship.
No, I'm with you, brother. I totally 100% agree with you. It's championship mental, man. And the great Rudy Tomjanovich said, never underestimate the heart of a champion, man. Like that heart, that effort. They've been running that pin down play all series, and Van Fleet's been right on Curry. But just that right then and there when they needed on the 3 by Curry down the stretch on the pin down with him coming through, you see those solid screens, that solid flare screens to get him free, and he catches Turn Van Fleet's right there, but no. And then Clay, the pump fake, and Kawhi goes just flying.
Oh, yeah.
And then the double dribble, put the ball down, boom, boom, 2 more dribbles, and get that wide open shot, and nothing but the bottom. No rim, no left, no right. Just champion saying, you're gonna have to kill us, guys. We're not going out like that. And
Right.
I think that's going to be hard to battle tomorrow night. And then in the game 7, if it gets to a game 7, they're going to have to blow them out. Even tomorrow night, they're going to have to blow them out. If it's going to be close, I just got Golden State making the plays at home. And I hate to admit this and say it, the NBA won 7 games, man. If there's a ticky-tacky call somewhere, or if there's some questionable down the stretch, I can see Vegas talking to the earpiece like, "Hey, buddy, I don't know if that really happens. I'm speaking hypothetically, but
Right.
I mean, let me ask you this: if you were the NBA, would you want 7 games at this point? I would say, why
Oh,
not
of
take
course.
2 more games? What? It is Father's Day. Sunday's
exactly.
Father's Day. Steph could win the championship and then run and hug his dad, man. Like. And the stuff that his dad takes and his mom takes, and oh my God, this, like I said, if it happens, Steph, you guys are gonna hear my mouth about Steph for like the next 5 years, bro. I might be on Steph like I was a Kobe guy. I might turn into that where it's like, bro, y'all can talk all that magic all y'all want. That's the greatest point guard ever because he could shoot better. We shoot way better. He changed the game. Magic just changed the size of point guards. He ain't changed the game. People ran fast breaks before. They just made it Showtime because it was LA. But hey, Steph averaged 25, 5, and 5 over his career. He's a much better free throw shooter, 3-point shooter, and all around shooter. Man, I would debate with it. And he's got 4 rings. He's got the 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, never been done before. Like, hey, I know Magic's got more MVPs, but at that time it was either Magic, Bird, or Jordan that was winning the MVPs. Now you got Harden, Westbrook, LeBron. You have Steph. Who else has won it in recent memory? We have we got Harden.
KD's won one.
KD, Giannis is going to win it this year. That's 8
Yep.
That's 8 damn guys.
Yep.
There was a span.
Oh, no.
There was a span in the '80s where 3 guys won the MVP: Bird, Magic, Jordan. That was it.
That was it, man. And at the time, you know what? It's funny because there was nobody else there. Like, there were good players, but nobody at that level.
Yeah, no, not at that level. No.
And that's not to disrespect any of the other guys. Guys like Isaiah, guys like Charles Barkley,
Dr. J,
whatnot.
all those guys, yeah.
But they were they're Hall of Famers. But at that time it was Magic and Bird kind of reinvigorated the NBA with their rivalry, with their styles, with Showtime, with what Boston was doing, and then you had Jordan that just took it over the edge.
Yeah.
That just kind of took it to the next level. But I'm gonna tell you something. Say something right now. If Steph pulls this off and he goes on to win Finals MVP, and hell, I might do it anyway. I'm gonna go buy me a Steph Curry jersey. And it'll be only. Check this out. It'll be only the second jersey I will ever have purchased that is not a Laker jersey.
Wow. I
Only
gotta
the
give me
second-
one too, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta give me one of the blue joints. I ain't going to front. I'm like, no, I'm not a Golden State fan. But this kid right here, I've been a fan of. Y'all been crapping on him. Said he couldn't win because against healthy teams because LeBron team was hurt or didn't have to get KD. He ain't have no KD. He was down 3-1 against the guy that people are saying is the best player in the world now. See how quick sports change. See how quick these guys change their mind. Now Kawhi, just a month ago, Kevin Durant was the best player on the planet. Now, It's either you still got your LeBron guys, but now Kawhi Leonard is Jordan-esque. It's Jordan-ish. He plays like Jordan. Like, stop it, man.
Yeah, no. Look, Kawhi's a nice player. I like Kawhi a lot, too. Don't get me wrong. But he is not Jordan. He is not Kobe. He's not LeBron.
No.
He's a different beast. He's a hell of a player. I'm not trying to knock the guy. But he's not on that level, guys.
Okay, so let's put him on a level. Let's put him with a guy. Let's put our brains together. So we both agree, no Kobe, right?
Right.
No Jordan.
No.
Okay, no LeBron.
I would say
I don't think he's better than LeBron, and I'm not a LeBron guy. I don't think he's better than LeBron.
Not LeBron.
No, he's not better than LeBron. LeBron's a different animal. He's not Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so let's go with guys. Is he more Bird? Is he more Magic? Is he more Dirk? Is he more Garnett?
No. You know who I think I would say I think he's more Pippen, just a little bit smaller. Because he plays the D, he can shoot the rock, he can handle the rock.
Wow, I like that, bro. And a better scorer. I think he's a better scorer than Pippen.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think he's got that same type of. When I look at him, I see him more like Pippen. Like Pippen, people forget Pippen was smooth when he was on the court, man.
Yeah.
That guy, he was just smooth, and that's something that I see with Kawhi. I don't see Pippen had that long wingspan and those long arms. So when he shot the ball, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. And Kawhi doesn't quite have the beauty, but he's got the same type of game. So if I'm going to compare him, I think he reminds me more of a Scottie.
I'm not mad at that, man. I like that. What about like a Grant Hill?
Yeah, I could see Grant Hill.
Yeah, me too. Because when I mean, he's got superstar potential. He's got great game. Even when I was talking to Rashad Phillips that I had on from Fox Sports 1 a week ago, I told him I saw Duncan. He goes, well, you're saying that because of demeanor. I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm saying that because it's still the type of game. One's a big man, one's a guard I got. But he plays the guard position like Duncan played the big man position. It's super fundamental. There's zero flash. It's all grit and grime and strength. Yeah. And fundamentally sound perimeter basketball. Why I thought that was a great comparison, but of course most people were like, well, he was a big man. Well, I know what the hell he was, but he was the most skilled, fundamentally footwork. Where was Duncan's flash? Oh, God. Where was Duncan's superstar person outward? It wasn't there. We knew he was still a superstar. The guy wore wrinkled jeans and some New Balance sneakers to a movie premiere that I worked when I first moved to Los Angeles. I met the guy, and I looked up, and I'm with all these celebrities. It was for Talladega Nights. I worked the premiere for Talladega Nights at Grauman's, the Chinese movie theater. And so Will Ferrell, Michael Duncan Clark, John C. Reilly, Vince Vaughn, like all the guys from Chicago, all the Chicago actors and comedians, and a bunch of other celebrities, Reese Witherspoon, Brittany Murphy, just, a bunch of celebrities were at that one, man. And Tim Duncan showed up because Eva Longoria was there. And she was, at the point, she was married to Tony Parker. So she's standing there talking to Duncan. I'm looking at Duncan. This dude really had on some wrinkled jeans. Like, he didn't even put an iron to his jeans. And had on kind of like an oversized kind of, T-shirt. And the neck was a little, it wasn't as tight as firm as a nice T-shirt neck I like. So you could just tell he's just not, he don't care about that. He's not that guy. And I think Kawhi's the same guy. So that's why I love the comparison all the way around.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely see it. Absolutely, you could tell. And, that goes back to also, when you talk about, like, those Spurs teams, one of the reasons they were so good is because they were fundamentally sound. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, they brought in Kawhi. And you mentioned, Tim Duncan, arguably, possibly the best power forward to ever play the game. People forget about Tim Duncan because he wasn't flash, because he wasn't Zach, because he wasn't all of that. But you know what? The guy was still an MVP, I believe, an 18, 17-time All-Star, and won 5 rings? Yeah, I say he was pretty good. When you're fundamentally sound, you're going to be successful. You're going to win. And that's something that people kind of forget about. And Kawhi is kind of the same way. Very fundamental, can shoot, can handle the rock, plays good D, passes. The guy's a hell of a player, but he's not Jordan.
No. That's one of the funniest things. That thing is so overblown. Kawhi Leonard being Jordan-esque or being Michael Jordan. That you give me a break. You've got to be kidding me.
I'm gonna say something about Max Kellerman. I've never met the man. I don't know him. Just from listening to him, I don't think I've ever met or ever listened to a host that I think just says things to get people more riled up than him. I don't even think he believes half the stuff that he's saying, because when he had his radio show out here in L.A., he would always say, "Oh yeah, I lived in L.A. for my whole life, even though everybody knew he was from New York." he even would say, "Oh yeah, I'm from New York, but I'm really an LA guy." And all that. It's like,
yeah, exactly. I remember hearing him. Yeah, I'm an LA. I'm an LA guy. I know somebody over there tells me that he used to, brag about his Tesla when he first bought his Tesla.
Yeah.
I know people that know him, bro.
Yeah. So I don't. Like I said, I've never met the guy. I don't know him, and I'm not trying to throw shade at him at all.
Yeah. No,
I really think he's just saying some of these things that he says for a reaction and for because like let's kind of throw behind the veil door here. A lot of times when you're on these TV shows or you're on these radio shows, they say that when people agree, it doesn't make good TV, it doesn't make good radio because there's no debate. There's no sparring. There's no, because you're just like, oh, I agree. You're going to regurgitate the same point. So someone always has to take the opposite side. Whether you agree with it or not, you have to take the opposite side. So I think maybe that's his role. I don't know. But I don't see how you could actually believe and say that Kawhi is up there in that spot. Now, I mean, he might have a stretch where he's up there.
He called him better than Jordan. Better than Kobe. He called him better than Kobe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I laughed when I saw him. Like,
well, you saw Jason Williams and Stephen A. Smith wanted to get up and walk away.
Oh, I know. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, he can't really believe that. That's why I'm saying I don't know if he's doing it for effect. Or maybe that's what they're telling him. Hey, you take the opposite side of this, or I don't know. Again, excuse me, I've never met the man, but that's just my what I think, because it just seems some of the things that he says, I'm just like, no, I you know me well enough. I'm always a fan of you can have any real position, but come at me with something. But there are certain things you just when somebody said it, you're like, yo, you really don't believe that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't tell me that, right?
You don't really believe what you say, do you? Yeah.
Oh, right. It's like when you're talking to one of your friends and they say something, you're like, "You just say that, man." That's kind of what I feel like when I'm listening to him. So, and again, I'm not throwing shade at the guy. The guy's done a hell of a job throughout his career. I just feel like maybe that's why some of the things he says, because some of the things he says, you're just like, yo, come on, man. like even my daughter will be like, hey, Dad, is that really true?
Yeah, well, that's why I said, I think that if you have to make good radio or make good TV, I just think that it's not pure. You should be able to be good. To me, that's why I love Kornheiser and Wilbon. That's why I watch PTI every single day. They're not trying. They're just being really good journalists talking sports. They don't have a fight. Everybody knows Michael Wilbon's from Chicago. He's a Cubby fan, but I've seen him trash that. I've seen him trash the Cubbies more than any other team. Wilbon is a Redskin guy. He loves his Orioles and his Capitals, but he'll sit there and trash them. The Nationals, not the Capitals, the Nationals. But he'll sit there and trash them, and it's not an excuse for everything. A lot of this other stuff that's put out, it's always an excuse or jump. Like, I'm not going to say no names and say no show, but there's a certain guy who's out there, and he just picks a different player to ride with every time the one that he initially picked doesn't pan out. It's like, bro, just stick with or at least go back. And he says we a lot. Like, you don't play on the team, dog. Like, you have your career, your career's over. And like I said, you got to take this side because you got to take that side. I ask the Lord every day when I'm asking him about my career is, Lord, I don't want to have to go through that. I want to just be pure, and I want a network out there to just trust in me one day that I can bring good radio without having to make good radio. And I'm willing to do it as a team. There's a producer, there's research guys, there's the audio engineer. Hey, let's get some sound effects in here. I want this show original. I want to do something different. I want to bring back old school sports talk that's gone away, man. Listen, I got to wrap up with you because I have to jump on a junior NBA conference call to get all our updates for this weekend and get ready to go call. I'm working all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday calling these games, man, for 11 Sports Network. It's a really new, really good startup network back east. But, it's a paying gig, man. And so when they're paying, you got to jump on these pre-prod conference calls.
Oh, absolutely.
So tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, nobody deserves it more. There's nobody more hardworking, and there's no one I respect in this business more than you. You know that.
Thank you, man.
So you can find me on Twitter at LESTRADAJR. You can find me on Facebook at Lucid Sports House. And real quick, VJ, one little quiz for you. I'm sure you'll get it real quick.
Okay.
I told you that if I bought this Steph Curry jersey, it'd be the second jersey that's non-Laker that I've ever bought my entire life. Who's the other one?
Oh, shoot. Non-Laker jersey that you would have bought. See, I initially either go to Dodger or Rams because you are a big Dodger and big Rams fan.
No. I'm talking NBA. I'm just talking NBA.
Oh, you're talking NBA? Oh, wow. Non-Laker NBA. Ah, damn. No hints. Let me get... Okay, non-Laker NBA. Wow. That's because you're Magic, Kobe, so that cancels those guys out. You're not a LeBron guy, so I know it's not a LeBron jersey. I'll take a stab and say a Wade jersey.
No.
Okay, don't tell me. I want a few guesses. I want a few. Okay, so it's not Wade. So it's not Wade.
I've bought in two. One of them was Pooh Richardson when he was with the Clippers.
Oh, I'd have never got that shit.
No.
Pooh Richardson? Are you kidding me, Luis?
No. Hold on. I bought two. Pooh Richardson, I bought him because he was a UCLA guy. And I could get it cheap as a Clipper fan.
Yeah.
But there was the one I was thinking of is somebody else, somebody big.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. So you kind of just gave me a little hints because you're a UCLA guy. So it could be. So let me think of some balling UCLA players in the league. Reggie Miller?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me. I'm not going to get this.
There's only one man, and he's the GOAT. His name's MJ.
Oh God. You know what though? I could never see you in an MJ jersey.
Yeah, I had one.
I didn't even think Jordan. I would never thought that you would have a Jordan jersey.
You know what? It was. I'll tell you what
I almost said Bird, but that would be Laker going against Exactly. So Bird went out of my head.
Yeah, no, Bird.
Oh, man. I never thought you would have a Jordan jersey.
No, I bought a Jordan jersey. You know why? Because growing up, I never got to see him play in person. And that always something that bothered me.
Oh, you never got a Clipper or Laker game in when he was...
No, never did. So it bummed me out. And... So I never got to see him play in person. I see plenty of his games, and it was like, you know what? I came to a point where I was like, no, I just wanted to enjoy his greatness and how great he was. So I went out and I bought a Chicago Bulls number 23 jersey, had it for about 5-6 years, and then I ran into a guy, became a pretty good friend of mine for a while, who was a big Jordan guy, and he couldn't afford a jersey, so I gave it to him.
Oh, the only way I would buy a Jordan jersey if some way, somehow, I decided to dig deep in my pockets and stop being such a cheapskate and buy a pair of the black and red threes.
Oh.
Yeah, the black and red threes. And the only time I would wear those black and red threes is when I wore my Jordan jersey. But it'd have to be a hot day out here in Cali where you just don't want anything on your shoulders and your arms. And I'm going to like an outdoor festival or something. It ain't going to be to go to the homie's house to shoot pool. I got to be out and about. I know I got to be seen in that. And it's got to be an authentic Jordan jersey. And I got to have a Bulls. And I would rock that. One day I got to have a Bulls fitted, or I gotta have a black and red Vanilla Funny or Veston Sports fitted on. That's the only way I would buy a Jordan jersey.
Absolutely, yeah. No, but that was the only one. Those two were the only non-Lakers jersey I ever bought.
Wow. So no other UCLA guys. You mean what? You don't have a Toby Bailey jersey? You don't have a Tyus Edney jersey, dog, from when he played. Who did he get drafted by? Minnesota?
I believe so. You want to know who my favorite player on that team was? On that championship team in '95 for UCLA?
Okay, well, you're asking me, so I'll cancel out Charles and Ed. They had Toby Bailey and Tyus Edney. I mean, you're gonna have to tell me, not unless it's Ed or Ed or Charles.
It was Charles. I like Charles.
Charles. Oh, you like Charles? You like Charles over Ed? Okay.
Yeah, I did, because Ed was a stud for that UCLA team. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Charles was the guy that did all the grunt work, man.
He did.
He was the guy in the low post, grabbing the boards, playing the D, getting the big blocks. Those are the type of guys that I loved watching growing up. And so on that UCLA team in '95, look, Toby Bailey was great freshman.
I'm about to say Toby Bailey was a freshman.
Yeah, Toby Bailey was a freshman.
Where did he play high school ball? Is he from the Valley?
I want to say he came from like Arizona, but I'd have to double check.
Oh, really? No, I'm gonna look at it. No, go ahead. I'm gonna put his name in right now and find out. We're gonna find out.
But that was what I liked about Charles. I loved the guys that did all the grunt work. Toby Bailey was a nice incoming freshman. Did really, really well. Tyus Edney, the vet. You had Ed, the vet, and you had George Zedek down there as well. No, that's another team. My bad. But it was Charles that I liked. Charles, I love the gritty guys that would get down low and bang and that's what I loved about Charles O'Bannon, man.
He is from L.A. I just looked at it. I thought so. Well, he went to Loyola High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to Loyola.
I think he got drafted by Phoenix. I think that's why I kept thinking Arizona.
No, he got drafted by the Lakers, second round, 16th pick.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember him with the Lakers.
Me neither. He played 1 year.
Huh.
I think he has 1 year. Yeah, he played 98, 99, and 99. You're right. He got drafted by the Lakers. He got traded to Phoenix on draft day.
There we go.
He got drafted to Phoenix and traded to Phoenix. His rookie year, he played 27 games, started 10. His second year, he played 46 games and started 2.9 points, 3.5 points, and was never heard from it. Wow, that's a story to go look up right there. What happened to Toby Bailey? Because I never remember any story of him flailing, with, drinking or drugs or failing a test. 2 years, they give you about 4 or 5 years before they start kicking you out and suspending you for that type of stuff nowadays. But that would be really interesting to see what happened to Toby Bailey.
I don't think it was anything like that. I just think he never developed. I remember at UCLA, after his freshman year, he kind of just plateaued. He never really got any better, didn't necessarily get any worse. I don't remember if there was any injuries with Toby Bailey or not, but I kind of remember him just kind of plateauing after that freshman year and just kind of was there.
Nah, you're right. He made the playoffs in 99 and 2000 with the Phoenix team. Played in 5 games, didn't start any but 3 minutes. That must have been in some mop-up duty. He averaged 0.8 points.
Yeah.
And field goal percentage is 25%, so that sounds like 1 or 4 from the field to me. Must have been some mop-up duty in a few playoff games. He played in all 5, so it must have been a first-round exit, and he played in all 5 games, but a total of 15 minutes in 5 games. So, yeah, that's 3 minutes a game. That's some mop-up duty. So, all right, brother, appreciate you having you on, man. Tell everybody where they can find you real quick.
All right, again, you can find me on Twitter at LESTRADAJR, and you find me on Facebook at Lewis's Sports House. Man, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate it, man. Go do your thing, man. You deserve it.
Thank you, brother. Tell the lovely princess and Miss Queen Estrada that the Huskies said hello.
I will. You do the same to your lovely wife as well, man.
God bless, brother.
All right, you too, brother.
All right, we'll wrap. Peace. My man, Luis Estrada from Luis Estrada Sports House. Love having him on. Very good guy. Works at Spectrum Sports now. Doing this thing over there, covering the Dodgers, the Lakers, the whatever's going on, whatever Spectrum's doing, he's on UCLA, USC. He's over there doing this thing, man. Love to see his career grow. I remember when I met that guy. He was working at Best Buy full time and doing freelance work for free at Spectrum. He wasn't even full time. Then he started getting paid part time and was still busting his ass and working himself to death, man, at Best Buy until he got his full-time position there. And just to show you what type of real, worker he is and what a good human being and guy he is, he still pulls time at Best Buy when he's got a job at a major network. I just something to be commended about that, man. So great show today. I'm going to wrap it up. As I said, I got a noon conference call in 3 minutes. I have to jump on for Junior NBA Regional Tournament in Ladera Ranch, California this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I believe it's the Ladera Ranch Sports Complex down there. They have some type of really big, beautiful sports complex there. I think my first game is at 1:30 on Friday, and I call games into the night, I think to the 10 p.m. mark. I'll be out there pretty late. Then I'm right back Saturday morning. My first game is at 9:15 a.m., and then Sunday they'll figure out what the championship brackets look like, evaluate us over the last 2 days, and then that's how they're going to seed us into what games that we get to call. So hopefully I'm in a championship tournament this weekend too, myself, not just the teams and the players that are there, because I want to call the best game in a championship game, or at least one of the best games, or one of the championship games there on Sunday. So I got to get off and jump on a call there for that. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to my brother once again. Shout out to NBA and New York Playground legend from Queens, New York, Georgia Tech, Archbishop High School, in Queens, New York. Went to Georgia Tech, drafted number 2 overall by the Nets. 18 years, I think I counted, in the NBA. 18 years, Mr. Kenny Anderson, for joining the show for us today here on VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct on Spreaker.com. I appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate you all. Keep supporting me. Keep looking out for me on Twitter. Hit me at Vesson, VESN Sports and Comedy on Twitter, and the Big Vanilla Funny on Instagram. You guys know I'm out here still doing all my comedy, doing all my big things, trying to, basically just make my dreams come true, man, and pretty much passing on as much positivity to everybody that I possibly can. I think I want to wrap up with another rockin' wrap up from my man Jason Hadley. So let me see if I can pull up another one for my guy here. And we'll end the show on this. I want to make sure I get my guy out there. It's another comedian that I know. As I told you guys before, he does these rock and wrap-ups. But basically, it's just a play and comedy on some of the things that's going on in Hollywood right now. So, once again, thank my guests, thank all my listeners. I will see you guys. I'm not sure. Hopefully tomorrow morning, I'll be able to jump back on. And I want to preview and talk about the game. Coming up, put my prediction out there and what I think is going to happen. And we will go from there. I'm VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla Funny. Jason Hadley with the rock and wrap-up.
It's the Hollywood Rock and Wrap-Up with your host, Jason Hadley. Openly gay talk show host Andy Cohen rips the organizers of Boston's Straight Pride Parade. No word yet if organizers of Boston's Straight Pride Parade are able to sit without a donut and or continue to experience bleeding in the bathroom. More bad news for the producers of the 50th anniversary Woodstock Festival, after the venue itself has now decided not to participate. Perhaps it may be for the best, since the only acid anyone who remembers the original one would buy is acetylsalicylic, as their primary care physician recommended it to prevent heart attacks. Justin Bieber took to Twitter challenging action movie star Tom Cruise to a fight in a UFC octagon. Clearly, Justin has no knowledge of the gay rumors surrounding Tom Cruise. They could have two completely different ideas of what thrusting a fist looks like. And that's the Hollywood Rock and Wrap-Up. Follow us on Twitter at Rock and Wrap-Up.